Hi, welcome to Eat This, Lose That program. This is another edition of our Reddy Report newsletter. You're going to learn more about different topics, including diabetes, obesity, weight loss techniques. You'll also learn more about medications, the side effects, and how to use your grocery store instead of your pharmacy. I also want to let you know that we have our Eat This, Lose That book available now on Amazon. And if you're interested, please get it. And if you do like it, we'd also like you to let us know what questions you have. And if you're concerned about something, please contact us and we can answer your questions. This time we're going to talk about fasting. We'll talk about adult onset diabetes, and we'll also talk about one of the medications used by most physicians called glipizide. So let's start with fasting. Well, should I fast? Should I not fast? Is fasting good for me? Is it hurting? Can I do it? Is it hard to fast? What are the benefits of fast? Most people tell me fasting is not good for me because it only hurts me. Well, the answer to all these is simple. Fasting is essential. We all need to fast. If you want good health, you have to fast. If you want no fatty liver, you have to fast. If you want to increase your brain cells, you have to fast. If you want to avoid cancer, you have to fast. If you want your immunity to go after cancer cells and wipe them out, you need to fast. Fasting is the best way to help shrink plaques. Fasting is the best way to jumpstart your weight loss process. Fasting is the best way to help reverse insulin resistance, diabetes, and leptin resistance. Fasting is also a good way to get control on your addiction and get rid of your desire to eat food. You can actually have control on the food to eat. So, if you want to have full control on what you can eat and what you don't want to eat, you have to fast. The next question is, how long should I fast? The answer is simple. You need to fast at least minimum 24 hours. What is the best way to fast? Drink water only. What is the best optimal fast? 72 hours. If it's too hard to do that, at least do 36 to 48 hours. If you do 36 to 48 hours, you still get a lot of benefits compared to fasting once a week, once a day. Meaning most people say, oh, I fast. How often do you fast? I fast once a week. What do? I skip a meal. That's not fasting. You need to fast for 24 hours straight minimum. But the best benefits are if you fast for 36 to 48 hours, and excellent benefits are if you fast for 48 to 72 hours. I repeat, if you fast for 48 to 72 hours. So, once again, should I fast? Yes. How often should I fast? At least once every 2 weeks. If you cannot do it once every 2 weeks, can I fast once a month? Yes, you can fast once a month. There was a study which showed that even fasting once a month, that is once a month, 24-hour fast, was enough to decrease the incidence of heart attacks by almost 40%. Now, if you fast 48 hours once every 2 weeks, it helps stabilize and shrink plaques. It helps suck in the fat of the liver. It helps reverse insulin resistance and leptin resistance. So, you want to benefit from fasting, try to do it once every 2 weeks for 48 hours. Now, if I'm fasting, I'm hungry, what do? Well, if you're really hungry and you cannot handle it, then at least eat 1 or 2 boiled eggs. So, are you permitted to eat boiled eggs during fast? Yes. But would it be okay not to eat anything and just fast with just drinking water? That would be the best thing to do. If you cannot do it, then at least take 1 or 2 eggs just to help you tide over the cravings and continue. Well, how do I do it? I'm scared. I have to have snacks. I need to be eating something. That only happens if you're on caffeine. What is interesting is when you give up caffeine, your cravings are gone. When you give up caffeine, your desire to have snacks is gone. And when you give up caffeine, fasting becomes easy. If you're fasting on caffeine, it becomes extremely hard because you're constantly hungry and you're constantly looking for food to eat. So in summary, should I fast? Yes. How often? Once every 2 weeks. How long? 36 to 48 hours. What do? Just drink water. What happens if I'm on medications? Consult your physician and see what medications you should be on. If you have a history of coronary artery disease and a stent placement and you're on blood thinners for that, then you need to continue those. If you have adult onset diabetes, then you can safely stop the medications when you're fasting. If you're on certain other medications which are essential, you need to consult your primary care physician before you start on this fast. The next segment on Reddy Report. This time we're going to discuss more about adult onset diabetes. There are a few points I want to discuss about adult onset diabetes. One, if you have adult onset diabetes, remember that it's something that has been acquired through your wrong habits or bad habits of eating the wrong food. Can adult onset diabetes be reversed? The answer is yes. Can you prevent diabetic complications by changing your diet? The answer is yes. Can you help heal the diabetic complications by changing the diet? Yes. How quickly can you reverse diabetes if you're making insulin? In less than 100 days. What is the first thing I need to do? Learn everything about what I'm eating wrong and figure out what is the difference between right food and wrong food, and ultimately avoid everything that's got sugar and starch if you want to reverse diabetes. The first question you have to answer is, if you have adult onset diabetes, are you producing insulin? The next thing you need to find out is, if you're making insulin, are you making enough insulin? Are you making more than necessary insulin? Or are you now becoming deficient in insulin? Each one has an impact on how long it's going to take for you to reverse diabetes. Next, you need to do this under the guidance of your physician. You also need to learn everything about what is sugar, what is starch, what is the difference between sugar and starch, and eliminate all forms of sugar and starch, including fruits. Remember, what causes diabetes? Sugar, fruits, and sweet cause diabetes. What maintains diabetes? Starch maintains diabetes. How do I reverse diabetes? Stay away from sugar, starch, fruits, and sweets. That includes sugar substitute. If you have any further questions, please contact us at info@reddycardiology.com. Today, the drug of the week, we're going to talk about glipizide. Most adult onset diabetic patients I see in my office are on glipizide, and they've been taking it for quite some time. And one thing interesting about glipizide is, if you are on glipizide, it's going to make you hungry. If you're on glipizide, it's going to make you crave for food, and it's going to cause more hypoglycemia, which in turn make you gain weight. So, if you're on glipizide, talk to your doctor and see if you can get off glipizide. But the question is, what does glipizide do? It basically goes to the pancreas and squeezes the cells which produce insulin and makes them produce more insulin. So once you're on glipizide, whether you need the insulin or not, the body is optimizing and increasing the production of insulin to its maximum capacity. Now imagine, if your body is pumping insulin at its maximum capacity and your blood sugar starts to drop, what is the first thing you notice? Hypoglycemia. And can the body turn off the production of insulin on glipizide? No. If it cannot, you continue to pump insulin and your blood sugar continues to drop, then you start having symptoms of hypoglycemia. When that happens, you become hungry, you start eating. The more you eat, the more insulin you produce, the more you insulin produce, the more fat you make, the more fat you make, the fatter you get. And this is what puts you in the vicious cycle. Now, once you take glipizide and increase the production of insulin, sooner or later, after a few months and years, you're going to exhaust the cells which produce insulin. And once that starts to happen, your insulin production starts to drop. Once that happens, you're now going from adult onset diabetes to insulin dependent diabetes, because now the cells which produce insulin are dying and you're going to become deficient in insulin. So, if you want to protect yourself for the future, contact your doctor and find out if you can get off the medication as soon as possible. And also, if you're watching this report, you also need to be aware that if you have adult onset diabetes, you can easily work at reversing it and managing your blood sugar by merely changing your diet. Portions don't matter, calories don't matter, by merely understanding the difference between sugar and starch and the importance of eliminating sugar and starch with the intention of reversing and eliminating adult onset diabetes. If you have any further questions, please contact us at info@reddycardiology.com. Thank you for following us.